It's Monday, so you know what that means. Time to talk about another NFL concussion. This time we're going to talk about somebody we've already talked about only 2 weeks ago, Jaxson Dart. I did a video, see here, on Jaxson Dart going to be medically evaluated in the tent. In this case, I actually did the video about Brian Dable, the coach, who went up and it appeared that he was trying to influence the process. Interestingly enough, Dable has been fired. But anywho, besides the point. So, Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart sustained a concussion this past Sunday, this week, when he was on a running play. He ended up fumbling the ball. His head hit the turf, obviously with the helmet on, and he was taken, and it does sound like he has officially been diagnosed with a concussion and will be entering the concussion protocol for return to play. Now, interestingly enough, he was evaluated 2 weeks ago when he had another hit to the head, and it does not appear that he was actually diagnosed with a concussion at that time. So he was able to go back and play. He is not breaking any rules by playing in this game that just happened, but it's an interesting thing to look at because concussions aren't always diagnosable right after they happen. There is something called the metabolic cascade that can happen where there's glucose levels and neurotransmitters and all these things that have the potential to change within 2 weeks post-injury. So the brain is like in this neurotoxic state for a little while, and you may not see symptoms immediately, but you may see delayed onset of symptoms, and that is still a concussion, and it's a concussion from that injury 2 weeks ago. So if that's actually the case, if there might have been something going on, this second concussion, or I'll say potentially second concussion, we know it is a concussion for sure, is actually more dangerous than it seems. Because if he had sustained an actual concussion, came out 2 weeks later, and has now sustained another concussion, there's something called second impact syndrome, which unfortunately can actually lead to death if the hits happen close enough together. 2 weeks is plenty of time. We're not going to be worried about that, but it basically confuses kind of bodily signals, and the brain just shuts itself down if you were to have two injuries back to back. So having two injuries so close together typically means it's going to take you longer to recover and your symptoms are going to be worse. So if that's what's going on, and Jaxson Dart has been playing in practices and playing in games and now has this new concussion, that's a problem. He might be out longer than if they had just taken him out to begin with and said, yeah, you're not doing so great. So by attempting to protect their franchise, they're certainly not protecting their quarterback. And I hope that's not the case, but to me, it seems very likely.